Think you've mastered the cable crossover? Here's a hard truth. Most people who think they're sculpting their chest with this move are actually just tugging cables and wasting time. Some are even setting themselves up for shoulder pain that creeps in later. Sounds familiar? You might have that slight pull in your front delts, or maybe you've noticed your chest never really fills out the way you hoped. Don't worry, we're going to fix that today permanently. Now, let me ask you this. When you do a cable crossover, do you feel your chest actually working, or do you just feel tension in your arms? Be honest, because if it's the latter, you're missing the magic and the entire point of this exercise. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The cable crossover isn't just about bringing your hands together. It's about how your body moves around those cables. The goal isn't to pull, it's to squeeze. But let's not jump there yet. Before we talk about what to do, let's expose what everyone's doing wrong. Walk into any gym, and you'll see the same pattern. People standing upright, cables set way too high, elbows locked out like scarecrows, yanking those handles together with all the grace of a lawnmower start. They lean back, swing the weight, and think they're building their chest, when all they're really doing is recruiting momentum in their shoulders. The chest? Barely engaged. Now here's the crazy part. Even people who've been training for years make this mistake because they've never learned why positioning matters. See, when your arms are too straight, the tension bypasses your pecs and travels into your shoulder joint. It's like trying to crack a walnut with a pair of chopsticks. Wrong tool, wrong leverage. Your pecs are strongest when the elbows are slightly bent and the movement mimics hugging a big tree, not slamming two doors shut. Think about it like this. Your chest fibers run diagonally, from your sternum out toward your shoulders. The whole point of the cable crossover is to shorten those fibers, to bring the origin and insertion points closer together. But when you stand too upright or pull with stiff arms, you're not shortening those fibers. You're just flinging your arms around. Here's another big one, cable height. Everyone sets the pulleys randomly, usually at shoulder level. But depending on which part of your chest you want to emphasize, that changes everything. High pulleys hit lower chest, low pulleys hit upper, and mid-level keeps the focus in the middle. The problem is, most people just grab whatever height looks convenient. They never tailor the setup to their body. And then there's posture. Watch someone from the side, shoulders rolled forward, chest caved in, back rounded. That's the death of tension. The chest can't contract fully if you're slouched. The moment you lose that proud lifted posture, your front delts hijack the move. Now, here's a little hint before I show you the fix. The secret isn't in pulling harder, it's in controlling the stretch. Most people rush the return phase, letting the cables yank their arms back. But that's the gold, that's where muscle growth actually happens. Think of it like stretching a rubber band. The energy builds in the tension. The slower and more controlled that stretch, the more your chest fibers have to fight. Quick test. Next time you do cable crossovers, pause halfway through a rep. Ask yourself, where do I feel the tension? If it's anywhere but the middle of your chest, we've got work to do. But don't worry, we're going to layer this knowledge step by step. We'll start by fixing your setup. Because if your foundation's off, everything else collapses. Then we'll adjust your mechanics, small tweaks that completely change where the tension goes. And finally, we'll add the advanced tweaks that make the difference between just doing the crossover and mastering it. So before we move on, here's what I want you to think about. What would it feel like if every rep actually made your chest tighten up from the inside out? Imagine walking away from a set and feeling your chest pumped, not your arms or shoulders. That's what's coming next. Stay with me. The next few minutes are going to change the way you train forever. Now let's get into how to actually set up the perfect cable crossover, where real control, tension, and chest growth begin. Alright, let's set you up for the perfect cable crossover, the kind that actually makes your chest do the work instead of your shoulders. Because when your setup is wrong, the entire movement becomes a waste of energy. But when it's right, even the first rep feels completely different. Tighter, more controlled, more powerful. First, walk up to the cable station. Don't just grab the handles and start pulling. Take a second and adjust the pulleys to the right height. If your goal is to build that full balanced chest, not just the upper or lower, set the pulleys just slightly above shoulder height. Why? Because this angle lines up perfectly with the midline of your chest, giving you maximum contraction without forcing your shoulders to dominate. Now, step forward one small stride. That step is crucial. It's what creates constant tension. Too close to the machine, and you'll lose resistance at the end of the rep. Too far, and you'll start leaning and swinging. You want just enough distance that when your hands come together in front of you, the cables are still pulling back slightly. That tension is what keeps your chest firing the entire time. Before you even start your first rep, think posture. Roll your shoulders back, open your chest, and imagine there's a string pulling your sternum up and out. You're not standing stiff, you're set. Your feet should be staggered. One foot slightly ahead for balance, knees soft, not locked. Think of it like setting the foundation of a skyscraper. If the base wobbles, the whole thing collapses. The same applies here. Your body has to be solid before your arms ever move. Now grip the handles, palms facing down and slightly in. Here's the first big light bulb moment. Your grip doesn't have to be death tight. Too much tension in your forearms steals the activation from your chest. Keep your grip firm but relaxed, like holding a baby bird, secure but not crushing it. Alright, now for the motion. Start with your arms open, elbows slightly bent, not locked. Imagine hugging a big tree, not closing a door. As you bring your hands together, think about squeezing your biceps toward the center of your chest, not just moving your hands. That tiny mental cue changes everything. You'll feel your pecs shorten and tighten instead of your arms doing the heavy lifting. And here's where most people mess up, the finish. They slam their hands together and instantly let the weight pull them back. Don't do that. Pause at the center, just for a second, and consciously squeeze your chest as if you're trying to crack a walnut between your pecs. That peak contraction is where the magic happens. Then slowly, and I mean slowly, let the cables pull your arms back until you feel that deep stretch across your chest. This stretch is your gold mine. It's the moment your muscle fibers lengthen under tension, signaling them to grow stronger and thicker. Don't rush it, control it. Imagine your chest muscles resisting every inch of that backward pull. Now here's a trick most people never use. Keep your wrists slightly turned inward as you bring your hands together, like you're trying to scoop sand toward your midline. That rotation recruits more inner chest fibers, the ones that give that dense, carved look when you flex. It's subtle, but the difference you'll feel is massive. And as you go through your reps, keep asking yourself, where do I feel it? If you ever lose the tension in your chest and feel it shift to your arms, reset your posture. Shoulders back, chest out, soft elbows. Sometimes even a small lean forward, just a few degrees, helps your chest stay loaded throughout the movement. By now, you should start feeling that deep, tight squeeze right in the middle of your chest. That's when you know you're doing it right. It shouldn't feel like a shoulder exercise anymore. It should feel like your chest is driving every inch of motion, from stretch to squeeze. Now, before we move to the advanced tweaks that separate good from great, I want you to do something. Next time you hit the gym, set up exactly like this. Cables slightly above shoulder level, one step forward, soft elbows, proud chest, and do 10 slow, perfect reps. Don't chase the pump yet, chase control. Notice how every rep feels deliberate, how your chest stays tight even when the weight pulls back. That's how you know you're finally connecting with your muscles instead of just moving weight. In the next part, we'll take this foundation and layer in the advanced mechanics, subtle adjustments that amplify your chest activation, protect your shoulders, and completely change your results. You've got the setup now. Next, we'll make it unstoppable. Now that your setup and form are locked in, let's take it up a level. This is where the crossover turns from just an exercise into real chest sculpting. Here's the secret. Your chest doesn't only contract forward, it also pulls slightly in and down. So, as you bring the cables together, think about driving your hands not just toward each other, but slightly toward your belly button. That tiny angle intensifies the lower and inner chest engagement like nothing else. Here's another advanced cue. Keep your core tight, like you're bracing before a punch. If your core loosens, your torso wobbles, and all that power leaks out. Your core is your anchor. It stabilizes the motion so your chest can fire at full strength. And one more subtle tweak. Control your breathing. Inhale as you open your arms, exhale sharply as you squeeze the cables together. Feel the chest contract harder on every breath out. That's how you turn a regular cable crossover into a focused, muscle-building powerhouse. Next, we'll put it all together and reveal the common advanced mistakes that even experienced lifters make.